Welcome. I am a master story traveler, a sailor with the authority to navigate the TLC, where every story has its own world. To obtain this title, I have trained in the best academy of story travelers, and with it I will share my knowledge about creating and narrating the stories that I have met, with the aim of showing you what is it that it makes a story so special. This is the cabin of my ship, with Ori as my sleeping first mate, ready to start our journey. Let's set sail and begin from the very beginning. The prologue. Oh my head.
Odin? What are you? Why are you? What?
Dear apprentice, haven't we been here before? If you don't write and finish my story, you'll never get your title. I will finish it when I see fit. Don't you know how dangerous is it for you that— Sure, because you can't wait to spend another year locked in the academy, right? How did you get here? Your unfinished story left your characters adrift on all the islands of the TLC. I'm just the one closer to the academy. Good to know the book portal still works. Then use it to return to your world before it's too late. Pages missing? But writing and mysteries unsolved? We don't even have an island to return to. You will have, eventually. Hold on a sec. I used it in sail without permission from the fleet's admiral. Sorry for this inconvenience, friends. We have a stowaway. What a way to refer to your own character. We are linked with this book, don't you remember? Can you sit there until I finish this? I promise we will talk again. Sure, I'll wait. You can help if you want. Just try to open the logbook and see what awaits us after this and take a look inside. As I was saying, we will set sail and start from the very beginning. In some stories, this is called the prologue, a beginning before the real beginning. And that's the part of the TLC we're entering right now. Hey, you didn't write a prologue on my book. That's what I was going to say. A prologue is, as many of the other things I will discuss, a tool, not a rule. There may or may not be, and it depends a lot on how you want to use it, and if you want to use it. Let's set sail and see it for ourselves. Are you sure you can? From a fast-paced action scene to show how cool the characters are, to a slow everyday scene in a town, the idea of the prologue is always to convey some information to the audience, to enhance their experience. What it tries, in general, is to give context, add questions to the audience, generate an expectation about what it will be about. You can do it in the main story, yes, so the key word is separate. What sets the prologue apart is how separate it is from the whole story, in terms of time. For example, the prologue from the Avatar The Last Airbender. Hey, I've seen this one. 100 we get in the first minute and I have a lot of stories of the world. Exactly. What happens if you take it out? I guess it takes out all the dread for a while though. That's the idea. A good rule to a prologue, if you don't know if you need it or not, is to ask it. Do you help or do you give it redundant information? That's a silly question. I know, but understanding what is needed and what is not is the key to know if your prologue is useful or not. Let's set sail to another example, Harry Potter. Almost every book has a little prologue that tells the reader something. The Philosopher's Stones give us questions. Who is Harry Potter? And why is he the boy who lived? What is the wizarding world? You can choose not to read or watch it in the movies, but you lose mysteries and expectations. A little taste of what will happen. That's the prologue power. We get the answers to those questions though. I mean, after the Hagrid breaking and entering incident. But not without being already invested in the story. Don't you imagine how worrying it would be that all those answers were given in the first chapter? Let me set course to another prologue that will help us understand this point. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Ah, that's an action prologue. We get to know how cool the alchemy is. Some characters say some things about what we will later know as equivalent exchange, but we never get the full explanation or it will be too much of a prologue. Instead, this chapter takes more time showing the powers of the alchemists, their interactions and relations with one another, and even some world building about their city and their ranks in the military. With this information on the table, we have already questions. What's up with the brothers? What is the Philosopher's Stone? And the villain of the week also throws some shade to the government. What a way to trust the authorities. I guess you can relate. In the back of all this, seeds of a bigger mystery are planted that we will expand further into the story. More questions, showing and don't telling. Starting to see a trend in the prologues.
That's the idea. You get a little glimpse of the main story, enough to be relevant, but not enough to become the hook of your story. At least, that is... You can put the hook in the prologue, but you can have two hooks, why not? One in the prologue and another one in the main story, the beginning. Remember, this is separate from the main story.
And how long should a prologue be?
I think it depends on how you want to use it. The rule is short and catchy, but I don't think this is always the case. Look at the name of the wind. The prologue in the first chapter doesn't give us information about the world, or the past, or anything exterior to the innkeeper's mind, ominously titled A Silence of Three Parts. We only get a described feeling of loneliness and sorrow, embellished by the way the book describes it. This not only gives us some insight in this character, but also set the mood of the book, that this one may have the same tune as a sad song.
Are we going to talk about One Piece's prologue, or we let it shine in the canon?
Yes, I mean, if you insist. This one's a really special case. One Piece's prologue has 3 prologues inside its main one.
3? Why so many?
Let's set sail to the manga to understand the author's idea.
The story begins with the execution of Gold Roger, the king of pirates, and the legend of his enormous treasure, the One Piece, that gives start to the pirate age. Then, 20 years later, we have the main character Luffy as a child, wanting to become a pirate. We are introduced to the mysterious devil fruits, one of which Luffy ate and became a robber boy, but lost his ability to swim. How can he be a pirate like that? Guess that counts as world building. And not only that, we see that there are well-intended pirates around, like Shanks' crew in Luffy's town, but also evil people as well. The last prologue starts 10 years after Luffy gets his straw hat, when he sets sail as captain to make a crew and enter the Grand Line, the sea where the One Piece is hidden. Inside a long prologue of 99 chapters, we get to know more about the world. I mean, we get to meet new characters and their motivations, a little glimpse of what's the peak of the power in the world, heartbreaking scenes and great comedy mixed with a lot of mysteries. But how do you know that it is a prologue? It seems main storyly to me. Well, this time the author marked the beginning of the real adventure with the name of the chapter 100. The legend begins. What a way of a little taste of what will happen. There's a reason why One Piece is as long as popular as it is. Why don't you bring Luffy here? I don't think I can too. If you don't try, you'll never know. Alright, let's try this and... the book is supposed to do that? Hello? A little help here? Ah! I guess I'm a little rusty? Sure you are, oh wise story traveler. Let's try a summary. As you see, prologues are special. Its power helps to present another kind of information to the audience, separate from the main story or not. The length also depends on the story, but the best way to see if you need one is taking it apart and see what changes without it. A thing to take into account is that you don't need to explain everything that happens in the prologue. Remember, the prologue is a tool, not a rule, and I can't stress this enough. It just depends on the story you want to tell and how you want to tell it. And that's a prologue, just a little glimpse of what will happen. So we are close to the prologue's borders of the sea. Are you going to get back? Nothing to explain, bye. Hey, wait a sec!